swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth under the penalty of perjury.
Yes, I do.
The witness is sworn and you may proceed.
Okay. I believe I brought everything that you guys actually requested and recommended. I meet all the codes and the parking regulations. I wasn't here last time you guys had the meeting because I had a death in the family and I couldn't make it. So I'm thankful that you guys actually put me on to this period here. I'm just hoping to actually make this thing happen for the veterans. You know, I served the military for 8 years as a veteran, as a 8 years in the military, basically active, and I did another 8 years inactive. And I'm all about the veterans. You know, I got out of the military. No place would hire me. No place. Although I served 8 years for this country, basically, I couldn't find a job anywhere. It was hard, and it seemed like, you know, I would have got further if I wasn't a veteran. But I'd like to go ahead and help these guys. You know, we have about 35,000 veterans homeless in Nassau County, and I can't help them all, but I can try and help 24 of them. So I'm hoping that you guys would actually find it in your hearts to let this thing move forward.
Okay, thank you. And if we haven't said so before, thank you again for your service to the country. So there were some questions left over. You may have addressed these last time, but is there an on-site super or manager that you are proposing who will be there
Yes,
full-time?
And actually, because we're all veterans, basically, we're taking shifts, basically, in doing it. It's shifts for the guys.
So it won't be someone living there, but a regular employee who is on-site? Okay. And some of the units had washer dryers and some without, is that correct?
They all have washer dryers.
They all do
have,
now?
Yeah, stackable, and they're all furnished, actually.
Okay.
So they're there to actually help these guys move ahead, basically, and the rent is actually very low.
So you have mentioned a couple different things, both senior and veteran housing,
Well,
so.
it's
kind of-
senior, it's veteran preferred, but if I gotta bring some seniors in, you know, 25%, I have no problem at all doing it. But it's veteran preferred.
So your first marketing would be towards, reaching out towards veterans to see who would occupy the building at that point?
Yes.
Okay. And can you just specify again, if you've mentioned this before, I apologize for asking you again, but, so can you explain your financial arrangement with this property? Are you the owner of the lot right now?
Correct.
Or you're a partner with
I have a
the
partner,
owner?
me and another guy. We actually own 3 properties here in Hempstead, but this particular one was taken over by gang members out of Terrace from 2019 to 2022. But we had to pay their electricity, we had to pay their gas, we had to furnish everything. We had guns pointed at us, we did everything. We tried to contact the building department, the cops, they did absolutely nothing. What got them out of there is that they tore the place up. And guess what? We still paid all the taxes, all the general taxes, the school taxes, everything. And these guys tore the place up, and the architect went inside of there, and he deemed it basically unlivable. And that's what got him out of there. No court, no nothing at all. But when we went to the building department, they then came in and put a sticker on the door, and the sheriffs got him out there that day. In fact, there were about 12 sheriff cars getting them out of there. 12 sheriff cars, and that's what got him out. No court whatsoever. But for 4 years, basically, we couldn't set foot on that property. And not only that, but these guys had the steps where the school kids could leave the school, go to the back door, knock on the door, and get their drugs and go. And there was nothing that we could do about it. Nothing.
So just to specify, you and Mr. Aharoni are partners on owning this lot?
Correct.
Okay, all right, thank you. Anyone else on the board have questions on this, please?
Is it one lot or 2 lots?
It's actually one large lot. It's one large lot.
Are there parcels on the property now? Is there a house on that property now?
There's one house in the front, and there's a cottage in the back. So there's 2.
Are there people living in that cottage in the back?
No.
You sure?
I'm pretty sure there's no one living in there.
Because I was there today, and they said they have no notice and no knowledge of anything going on to that property.
No, I have no one living there.
There's someone living there, sir. I
Well,
guarantee
gotta-
you there's someone there.
Okay. Well, someone told me that somebody was in the basement stealing pipes one day. And
There's
I
a
went there.
family living in the cottage.
Okay, well, I gotta make a call on that, but anyway, I'd also have an apartment available, if that's the case. I have an apartment available at 12 Maples, it's a two-bedroom, I can relocate them if that's the case, but no one should be there.
So, Mr. DeBoer, you originally put the application in for 4 floors, am I correct?
Originally, yes,
And you have plans here that you just submitted with 3 floors now?
yes,
Okay, so, you know, because that was, a concern was the height of the
building, correct.
the building. And I just wanted to make sure, I'm looking, just get a chance to really go through it. But we're still maintaining 1-bedroom apartments, right? Throughout
Correct.
the whole place?
correct,
Right, fully furnished?
correct.
Okay. Just want to check that with you. I have no further questions.
But just so you know, we have 28 apartments here in Hempstead, they're mainly Section 8, and right now I have 3 vacant apartments.
You're describing it in your paperwork as 24 units,
I'm
senior
sorry,
apartment.
22. We moved it down to 22, I'm sorry.
I apologize, but the point is
Come closer to you.
22 senior apartment buildings.
Correct.
So,
55 and older.
okay, but they would not necessarily have to be veterans.
Right, not necessarily, but it's veteran preferred.
Now, one of the, a couple of neighbors on the back street behind the cottage, they have a real problem with a 4-story building going up that exceeds height codes.
Well, that's why we reduced it to a 3-story.
Right, so you did that.
Yes, sir.
I'm getting that, but I'm saying, is it absolutely necessary? You can't put some other kind of building there that might, or buildings that might more properly conform to codes?
Well, doesn't that conform to code? Is it just a complaint from the other street? Is it a complaint from the other street?
Well-
Is that the problem?
I personally take the neighbors' viewpoints as very real. I mean, they don't always have the last say, but I don't discard the neighbors' viewpoints
I understand.
from my point of view.
Yeah, you know, I actually went to that block you're talking about, and you have to basically put on some 12-inch heels, some 6-inch high heels, climb a 24-foot ladder, and put binoculars on to be bothered by that building. Okay. You know, have nothing in your life better to do, you know, it bothers you. Because it didn't bother them when we was over there with gang members for 4 years. It didn't bother when the cops were there every week. That didn't bother anybody at all. That didn't bother anybody at all. So what bothers them is that there's a couple of veterans, a couple of guys who went and risked their lives for them to live the lives they're living right now. And trust me, you don't want to know how it would be without veterans. You don't want to know how it would be. So we were there basically when you guys needed us.
Okay.
And I know that I'm beginning to think that Hempstead is not a veteran-friendly town. I'm not saying that for everybody, but it seems like I'm better off basically being coming from another country and hopping a gate. I'll get better respect. I don't know.
Okay, that's one point of view.
Yeah.
So I do have a letter from a resident who was unable to be here tonight. I believe she spoke previously. You will have an opportunity to review this letter if you like. And she did ask that we read it into the record, so I will do so. And this is a letter from Juanita James. It says, "My name is Juanita N. James. I reside at 51 Eldridge Place in the village of Hempstead. I have attended the zoning appeals meetings held in January and February when case number 2097 was on the docket, and at each meeting there were issues and the case was not heard. Unfortunately, I'm away on a family matter and I'm unable to attend the next scheduled meeting. So I'm asking that this email be placed in the minutes of the meeting that is to be held on April 4th, 2024. My parents moved us here from Rockville Center, where urban renewal was a phrase I, as a child, learned to loathe. and as a child, I got over it. I've observed the changes that have occurred over the past 60 years here in the village of Hempstead, some good, some so-so. But this construction concerns me, and below are my delineations. Number 1, property value. Number 2, noise level. Number 3, aesthetic. There are some photos of what the area is like now. These are attached, which you can also review if you don't have them there. It is my home that you see in the photo. The photos show my home. In the back, you can see the 3-story townhomes that were erected, townhomes that we were never made aware of, townhomes that now block the sunset, but I digress. On Angevine and Greenwich, there is the apartment building for seniors, the multi-level condo unit, the 7-story storage facility, and the rehab and nursing facility, all on Greenwich. All these structures are well over 3 stories high, encroaching and towering over the neighborhood where I live. I ask that you please consider the type of structure that you will allow to be placed on that lot. In 60 years, if growth continues as it is now, there will be no Eldridge Estate in the village of Hempstead, because there will be no village of Hempstead. There will be a congested urban-type habitat that will mimic many of the areas in the other 2 counties on Long Island. So I'm asking you to please consider carefully the type of structure you allow to be constructed on that lot. Ask yourself, would I like to live in that neighborhood? Thank you for your consideration regarding this email and the photos, Juanita and James. So once again, to repeat, this is not our opinion, but the expression of this resident of the village of Hempstead.
Well, she's been living there for a long time, I see, but she mentioned nothing about the fact that when we were trying to get the gang members out of there, they have parties there every weekend, speakers, DJs, everything. She had a complaint about that, about the police coming there to the property all the time, about the kids buying drugs. So I guess that stuff she overlooked and didn't see, but that was going on. And I made the village aware of it, I made the police department aware of it, and they did absolutely nothing. So now that a couple of veterans want to come there basically and call the place home, it's a problem. Yeah, that makes sense. Makes a lot of sense.
I just want to state for the record that a copy, email, and photographs has been given to the applicant.
Thank you.
And right now, that building that we have there is an eyesore to South Franklin. It's an eyesore to the community, actually.
So again, as Mr. Mathematics brought up, so what's your response to the people currently living in the back area?
Well, my partner probably had them there basically just to watch the property and alert us basically, but I'm not collecting any rent from them at all, but I do have an available apartment, 12 Maple. I have A, B, and C. I have A and C available that I can actually relocate them at any time. It's not a problem. And that's basically, we're probably just watching the property because people were going inside of the property trying to sleep inside of there, even though we have a sticker on the door.
That's the property in the front. The people said they've been living there for 2 years. So I don't know how you missed them if they've been there for 2 years.
Well, that's not a problem at all.
And I know the property very well.
Yeah.
And it's been vacant for maybe 5 or 6, 7 years, to be honest. And what I'm saying, there's always been somebody living in that house.
Well,
in the back.
sir, it's not a problem. If we have to move into another location, I have plenty of available apartments. On 50 Laurel and on 12 Maple.
It's a bit of a concern to me when you say your partner probably has them in there. I mean, you should know exactly who is on the
I can
property.
make a phone call now. We also got properties in the Bronx also, and then also in Queens and also in Brooklyn. So I'm in Brooklyn, Bronx, even in Yonkers as well. So there's a lot of locations that I'm actually at. But I call Hempstead home. But I wouldn't actually leave anybody homeless at all. If I gotta put them to an apartment, I put them to an apartment. I give them proper notice, depending on what's happening here, I give them proper notice to put them to an apartment.
Well, we need to know if they're legally, if they have a lease there, what the status is, how long.
There's probably no lease, I can make a phone
But
call.
if they've been there more than 30 days, they have rights as a tenant within
Oh, but
that.
I can relocate them, that's not a problem at all.
If they want to be relocated. They might not want to be.
Okay.
So I would certainly ask that you verify the exact status of who is on the property and what the
I can make a
conditions
phone
of
call
their
right now.
they're living there. I don't know if the board would find that acceptable for a phone call right now. I mean, we would need
I've been-
verification of that.
I've
That's
been doing
important, that's important. There are people living there now, and they have, if they have rights as tenants.
Listen, if there was a problem, if there's a problem with the people living there now, I'd be at the building department making a complaint, saying, hey, this is going on. I haven't called the police at all. If I have to relocate them, I can relocate them to one of my vacant apartments. In 12 Maple, I have two vacant apartments, apartment A and C. They're both 2 bedrooms, totally renovated.
Well, assuming someone wants to move, if they have tenants' rights, it's really up to them if they wanted to move. Can I ask our building department representative, are you familiar if there's been any recent visits on site and any knowledge of specific conditions at present?
Other than it being vacant, but we haven't gotten any, I would have to check in the city. I personally haven't received any complaints on it, but we'd have to check with the inspector to see if there was any complaints on it for that.
Okay, so officially it's vacant, but there may be people living in the,
Sir, I promise you, I would not actually have them in a situation to where they're homeless. I'll take care of it. We have 2 apartments, 2 buildings, and 2 houses in Roosevelt right now, to where we have someone actually occupying a room just to keep squatters out of there. You know, we've actually had to go inside, just put one person inside a room, say, stay here, rent free, don't give us any money at all. We're going to pay all the taxes, but we just don't want squatters inside of here. That's what we got to do. I mean, these guys will come inside with a lease that they just made up and put in their backdated 1 month, and then they're there, you know? So it's not surprising that we would actually have someone there just to go and watch the property for us.
well, all right, thank you for your presentation again tonight. And now I would ask if there are anyone who would like to speak in favor or against this application. No one else? Okay. It did look.
Can I have a motion, please?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we adjourn this until the applicant can show us the process that's it's going to take to move those people out or they're in. So I'm making a motion to an adjournment. June 6th.
Second.
June 6th, right?
June 6th.
Mr. Brathwaite?
Yes.
Mr. Gresham?
Yes.
Mr. Mathematics?
Yes.
Ms. Lucas?
Yes.
Chairman Oppenheimer?
Yes. So we're asking you to bring us verifiable documentation as to what the status is with anyone currently living on the property. And then we will be able,
You realize the taxes are actually very, very difficult when you've got no income coming in, right? I've been doing this for like a year and a half now, trying to get this done.
we want to do it the right way. And whether we like it or not,
You wouldn't take my word that I'm actually gonna relocate these people, if they are there, you know, rightfully or wrongfully, to another apartment?
we will take your documentation on it. Seriously. For you and anyone. It's not a question of your word. It's how we have to verify
So June.
everything in front of us.
I'm going to June with this thing.
If there are people living there who have tenants' rights on your property, that is, you would open yourself up to greater legal jeopardy trying to remove them if they don't wish to be removed from their property. If they don't have a right to live there, you can demonstrate that, and we'll be able to vote on your proposal.
May I add something?
Please.
Again, zoning codes are there for a reason. So one way to avoid this hassle is to build strictly to the code and taking your those neighbors into consideration. I'm not telling you what to do, I'm just saying that's one point of view, okay?
Taking this one neighbor into consideration.
Absolutely,
Well-
if it was just the one, yes.
What if
Actually,
it was
it's
you?
several.
What if you were that neighbor and it was a concern of yours? We try to, their opinion is not our decision, but we have to take it into account. That's our responsibility as part of the overall decision.
So June is the earliest date I can come back on this thing? I've been doing this for a year and a half now.
Do we have anything open in May or no? No, so June would be the earliest.
The other thing you could do is if we can't have documentation, you could bring his business partner in to testify about it as well.
That's true. You could bring your business partner in to testify as well, so, if you don't have a physical documentation, but,
I can get an affidavit by the people there also. I mean, if it comes down to it, I'll actually move them to another location. I can do that easily.
if you bring in some, all of this together, if you bring in some evidence showing that they're perfectly willing to move and that they're, in fact, gonna be moving into a better situation, they may love to move. But we can't just take it on anybody's word. It's not that we doubt you specifically. We need to make these decisions based on documentation, not just on our opinion of somebody. I have a good opinion of you. I can't make a decision based just on that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, June 6th.
Okay, so now we're going to move forward with new case number 2116, application of Tiffany Crystal Corp. and Diane Bergen for a variance under Section 139-6 compliance required, Section 139-33E, fences of the zoning code of the Village of Hempstead for permission to reconstruct a pre-existing non-conforming 10-feet-high concrete block wall/fence and relocate to the property line at 102 and 108 Bedell Street, Hempstead, New York, 11550. Said property is located in a Business B zone/downtown overlay zone 2, known as Section 34, Block 195, lots 133 and 134, on the land and tax map of the County of Nassau and Incorporated Village of Hempstead.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman and members of the board.
Good evening.
My name is Greg Kalnitsky, K-A-L, and is in Nancy, I-T-S-K, Y is in yellow. I'm with Pacelli, D. Tirana at 333 Earl Ovington Boulevard, Uniondale, New York. Today, we're appearing on behalf of Tiffany Crystal Corp. and Diane Bergen for what I hope is a relatively simple and straightforward request. Their property is located over here, towards this quadrant that I'm pointing to on the site plan. Very simply, we're looking to move an existing concrete wall on the borders over here, facing away from the street. That would be the east border and the southern border. The issue is that that wall is about 2 feet off of the property line. And occurring over here, on the corner of Main Street and Bedell, we have a 270-unit affordable housing multiple dwelling going up, which is obviously a very exciting thing. So when they were getting ready to do the construction and were staking the place out, they noticed that the existing wall was going onto their property at minimum 2 feet and at most about 2.5 feet in both directions, east and south. So the code, the reason why we couldn't do this as of right is because the code provides in its general provisions that there must be maximum 6-foot-high chain link fence separating properties. But I just want to note 2 things. First off, this matter was in front of this board about 3 times in the 80s, 30 years ago. And the board approved of the concrete wall and barbed wire. So right now, obviously barbed wire is not a nice thing to have in a residential area. So we're proposing simply to construct that wall to prevent noise pollution, light pollution, and provide security to the premises over here, which is a lot for an auto dealership right adjacent to it. I note that the village's code provides for the 6-foot fence and requires that inserts are placed and maintained so so that vehicular lights won't disturb other properties. So, you know, I think that while the board's previous decisions don't specifically enunciate that rationale, it's in the code itself that when you have residences abutting commercial areas, you want there to be some level of screening between the two properties so that the cars don't disturb the neighbors on the other side. You know, like I said, this was a boundary dispute, so rather than make it a dispute, the constructor of the 270-unit multiple dwelling, Conifer, said, listen, assuming the village gives us permission, our crew is already there, and we will simply take down the wall and build you a nice new wall on the property line. Does the board have any questions?
Yes, is it, you're shrinking the footprint, bringing it in a little, or it's going farther out?
So right now, it's going in towards the, that would be west and the north, because it extends onto the Conifer's property by 2 to 2.5 feet either way. So it's not really about, I guess technically it is bringing it in, but it's about preserving the boundary line that they have.
So you're not,
this is a site
you're
plan.
not expanding the footprint of the existing fence that's there?
Not at all.
It's coming in a little bit?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. And it shouldn't be visible to the street. I mean, here you have a zoom in of exactly, you know, where the wall is and where the reconstructed wall will go. It's going to be 10 feet high. Once again, it's a little bit higher than what's currently there because what's currently there is a bunch of barbed wire at the top of the concrete wall. And over here, I just have an aerial view so you can visualize exactly what's happening. This is the construction site over here. This is the area where we are replacing the wall, the southern portion here and the eastern portion here. And this is the auto body shop right next door that uses this lot for storage of the vehicles.
So why do you need 10 feet as opposed to, say, 8 feet?
Well, what's currently existing there is 8 feet plus barbed wire, which would place it, you know, obviously barbed wire varies, but 9 to 9.5 feet. They're asking for 10 feet because there's a certain element of security that the barbed wire provides that they feel will be accommodated by building the wall just slightly higher. It's obviously much more difficult to scale a concrete wall that's 10 feet as opposed to 8 feet, let's say.
So there'll be no more barbed wire?
No, no barbed wire.
And what will the top of the fence look like?
Otherwise, it will look like exactly.
Just a
what-
flat-
Flat.
flat top.
Just a flat wall that's gonna provide security to the vehicles in that lot and screen the neighbors from any adverse impact from moving those vehicles around.
And is it decorative concrete? What's the surface of the concrete going to look like?
I think it's gonna look substantially similar to what's there now, except without the barbed wire. Of course, if the board would like any specific form of decorations, we're happy to accommodate, you know, whatever the board would need. But like I said, as it stands now, the only people who are really gonna be looking at this wall is, you know, Conifer, right next door, and, you know, they want it, and the automobile repair shop wants it. So it's otherwise, you know, not gonna be really visible from the street.
Well, I would suggest, without specifically requesting a particular style, if Conifer is going to be the entity that's building it, they're probably going to want to build it similarly to the building that they're building next to it. So
Right.
it should be a nice quality wall. Anything's got to be better than barbed wire that's in there now.
And
So-
I can faithfully represent to the board that it will 100% be higher quality than what's there, and
Mhm.
that's not just taking into account the barbed wire. Conifer obviously invested a lot of money in this property, and they're going to be covering the cost of this wall. And they want it to look good, you know, not just because they're trying to do the neighbors solid, but for their own reasons as well. They want the residents to have a nice place to live.
So are you representing Tiffany Crystal Corp. and Diane Bergen, or you're?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, my firm also represents Conifer, but as I had explained, in order to accommodate issues that arose because of the boundary issue, because of the wall, Conifer said, you know, if it's okay with you, we will handle everything and, you know, we'll make everything nice for everyone.
So she or they are not going to come back here and say, why did you permit them to do this on my property? You're here? Okay. So you give them the thumbs up? Okay. Do we need to have them sworn in? Yeah. So- Thank you.
Just state your name and address in case you can write it up and then I'll start again.
Robert Bergen, from Tate Collision, 78 Bell Street, East St. Louis, and 155.
So you're in agreement with, you're happy with the arrangement between yourself and Conifer to alteration of it?
Well, bring, knock the back wall down, so something has to go, but I got from somebody else.
Okay. All right, thank you. Anybody else on the board? Questions?
So the wall is already down, correct?
The back and the side. One side is up and the front is still up.
Yeah, the front is still up.
Yes. If you drive down the hill, you can see it. It's right
Yeah, I was there
Yeah.
today. I looked at it today.
All right. Any members of the public who would like to speak in favor or against this application? There being none, Ashley?
Can I have a motion, please?
Mr. Chairman, case number 2116, I make a motion that we approve this project.
Second.
I second.
Mr. Brathwaite?
Yes.
Mr. Gresham?
Yes.
Mr. Mathematics?
Yes.
Ms. Lucas?
Yes.
Chairman Oppenheimer?
Yes. Good luck. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Have a wonderful evening.
Thank you.
Okay, so now we're going to move forward to new case 2112, application of Pack and Play Daycare LLC for a variance under Section 139-6 compliance required, Section 139-106 permitted uses, Business B of the zoning code of the Village of Hempstead for permission to operate a daycare at 185 Baldwin Road, Hempstead, New York, 11550. Said property is located in a Business B zone known as Section 36, Block 71, Lots 51 and 53, on the land and tax map of the County of Nassau and Incorporated Village of Hempstead.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board.
Good evening.
John Zolo, attorney for the applicant. My office is 12 Manor Road, Fishtown, New York. This is an application on behalf of Pack and Play, which is a daycare center. This is run by Tanisha Knott, who's here this evening. She's the owner. She's currently licensed operating a daycare center in the village at 588 Newton Avenue. The property is the subject of the application, 185 Baldwin Road. The variance is sought from sections 139.6 and 139.106 of the Village Code. The property is in the Business B zoning district. Both Business B zoning districts and Business A zoning district schools are permitted. I didn't see any definition in the code regarding schools or daycare center or nursery schools, so I'm presenting to the board that the daycare falls into the category of schools. The building is currently vacant, and the landlord, who's here tonight also, is making the space usable for this not daycare center. Prior to the building being vacated, it was
I'm sorry to interrupt. Can you specify, you said the corner. They're not proposed to do the corner, according to the documentations we have. It's 2 stores in,
Right.
right? It's not the one right on the corner, correct? Yes.
So that's an L shape with the garage.
But the daycare, well, continue, we'll ask questions.
Make sure. It's the L-shaped portion, they're not, so the entrance is on Holman Boulevard, but I call it the corner piece because what I'm concerned about the reason for the area, hopefully, is to address the concerns of parking.
Pull that through.
Hold on.
It's the former,
Flooring store,
Yes,
right?
yes.
That's the site.
So the-
I didn't see an entrance from.
That's not what's on the
Holman
map.
Boulevard?
That's not,
No,
no,
the entrance is on Baldwin, at the front door, according to what we have.
according to what we have.
I have the architect here, so they'll just explain the design of what they're doing there.
Okay?
I just state your name and address.
Sure. My name is Patrick Wisworth, last name is L-E-O-R-T-E-D. Address is 1500 Lane, Hempstead, 1150.
You swear or affirm? You swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Okay, you're sworn, you may proceed.
So it's not on, Coleman Avenue, but it's right off it, if you see, like, exit there, there's kind of like a large pavement area. So there's like an alleyway that leads off of Coleman Avenue. And then that alleyway is will be used as another entrance.
So there's
I
a
have-
doorway on Holman that on this documentation says exit.
Right.
And in the front, the waiting area is in the front on Baldwin, and there's a doorway into there.
Right, so that originally as designed is the main entrance, but we're also, in case that's too busy or not kind of acceptable at the time, there's also a second entrance at the back, using that alley.
So it currently is a vacant store, correct?
Right.
So is the landlord looking to rent that space again?
That I'm not sure about.
Let me, like, clarification, this is an aerial which shows 25 feet of Holman
Yes.
Boulevard. So, there's gonna be an entrance in this alley here to the back, and then there's an entrance also that will be fronting on Baldwin. So this white part is not part of what's gonna be the rental space.
Correct.
So the plan is to have access for the children to get dropped off, coming to the back, this back passage here, but you can't get to the building to the front.
So what's the condition of that alley? I mean, that,
Well, that's part of what the landlord is in the process of doing. I was there a couple months ago, and the alley will be cleaned up. So right now, we have to get approvals for daycare. The landlord's here, he can talk about the alley, but when I was there, the alley was not cleaned up. It's going to be, because that's going to be access for the children, so it has to be. That's part of
yeah.
the obligation of the landlord to provide that to the tenant. So that will be taken care of. And when I was talking about the corner piece, I was basically just, for purposes of what my traffic expert will be talking about, was dropping off of the student, the children, and picking up the children. So I'm looking at that, at the corner of Holman and Baldwin. That's really my focus. So, but the plan is that the children will get dropped off, and they'll come into that back entrance. There'll be, there's garage doors, some of the employees will be able to park inside the building, where those garage doors are on this building. And the general rule, the plan is for queuing purposes and for the children to get, and the parents to bring the children to daycare, they would go through that back entrance. And that would be the in and out for the people attending. So, currently, Ms. Knott has her school, and she has about, I think, 16 students and 2 employees, based upon the square footage, and what she's hoping to accommodate to move forward here is to expand the business, ultimately to have approximately 10 employees with approximately 50 children attending the daycare, ranging in age from, newborns and infants to up to 13 years old currently. And her hours of operation would be from 7 to 6. And it's something that is needed, obviously, and she's been doing it for about 3.5 years, and she's licensed to do all of that. But again, with respect to the building itself, the landlord's here tonight. If you have questions of the landlord, he can explain to what's being done, but he's going to present to her a facility when she takes possession of the premises, assuming that hopefully this board sees fit to grant the request. He has to make it so it's accessible, usable, and appropriate. It has to be. That's part of the deal. So that whole back area will be cleaned up and accessible for the parents to take their children in and out. Okay. But we had met the pre-planning meeting back in January of '24, and the real focus was getting the children into the school and out of school, and also queuing about parents dropping the kids off. So what was recommended and what we did, we have a traffic and parking study prepared, and I have Ms. Andrea Connell here from Kimberly Horn, who will just go talk to the board, explain to the board how we think the park will work and how queuing and dropping off the children will be adequate and safe for everybody. So if it's okay with the board, I'll have her, Ms. Connell, come up and walk you through the report, which was provided to you, I believe.
Yes, we have
Thank
the
you.
traffic report. Lee? Yes, comments? So I would like to hear from, I'm sorry, you're with the traffic?
Yes, sir.
Okay, go ahead.
Kimberly Horn, Andrea Connell.
Go ahead.
High school trainer, I wish you the record, please.
2881 Heather Crest Drive. Heather Crest, one word, Drive, Yorktown Heights, New York.
Please verify and tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, under the penalty of perjury.
I do.
With the witnesses sworn in, you may proceed.
Okay, thank you. Good evening. As John mentioned that I'm with Kimberly Horn. We did a fairly detailed traffic and parking study for the daycare center. And I know one of the concerns is always about getting children in and out safely and not to disrupt traffic flow. So we looked at the best location to put the drop-off pickup area. So on Homan, right here on Homan Boulevard, it's the north side of the street. There is a cutout there that is signed no parking, because when the flooring store was in there, they used that. I guess they had wanted a no parking area so they could facilitate their loading and unloading of materials, of the flooring materials. So this would be a good location for that. The roadway here, curb to curb, is 25 feet wide. It's one lane of traffic in each direction. As you can see, there's a vehicle parked here, so there would be plenty of room beyond that for other through traffic to go by. And Holman does not have a lot of traffic, certainly nothing like Baldwin Road in terms of the traffic. So this area can fit up to 6 vehicles for drop-off. And so what would happen is the parents would come in the morning, and it's not like a school where you have a start time. Everyone shows up at 8 o'clock, and then school is over at 2 p.m. It's not like that. It's kind of staggered out. So we expect most of the students would be dropped off sometime between 7 a.m. and 9 a.m. Could be a little bit later as well, but it won't be a crush of students all at, say, 7 a.m. And similar to the pickup in the afternoon, the parents can come when they want to come, when they need to pick up their child. So what would happen is the parent vehicle or caregiver vehicle would pull up, they would then park, walk the child into the back through the back way here, into the school, drop them off, then return to their car, drive away, and
On Holman Boulevard, standing in front of the driveway door, the entrance that you're proposing, would that be to the left or to the right of the driveway door?
To the left, so it will be where kind of this alleyway is.
Okay.
Are you proposing to come through the alleyway to an entry inside?
Yes.
And are we gonna change these drawings, or are you proposing to put more doors in? I'm not sure, because what I see now, I don't see an entry. I see a concrete wall.
We were hoping to change the drawings, but originally the main entrance was going to be on Baldwin, and we were just gonna have that open area. The kids could go be playing in there anyway, so it wouldn't be a big deal to have drop off and pick up through that big open space. But if the owner wanted to, we may just have the waiting area in there. But it is the plans that come through that alleyway and have it be the pickup drop.
So in this alleyway, you're gonna open up an entry, because the alleyway goes to a concrete wall. There is no entry or exit from this alleyway. I don't see anything. So you explain to me.
It's all the way over at the bottom, so it was something. But this is the alleyway back here, and you're saying it would come all the way down to here? Yep. So they could come to there. Well, there's the alleyway. How wide is the alleyway? How wide is the alleyway? Approximately.
That looks about 20 feet, but,
You mean,
Gotta be, it's wide enough.
why?
Oh,
As the size of the driveway, if there's vehicles on there, she's probably looking about 12 feet.
so, do you have any questions for me? So, go ahead.
So can you just tell me the traffic flow, so the cars drive into the alley?
No.
Okay, all right, that's what I was, they just drop off.
Yeah, that's, the drop-off
Think
is
of it as
be on the street.
If I might, I describe it as a queuing line, so when the parents come to drop off the children, they're gonna pull up on that sidewalk, that curving area on Holman, and drop the child off, go in and leave. So it's kind of like a queuing line, is what I was thinking. So, that's why I think Holman is a good location for this, because you got this intersection controlled by a traffic light. Holman has a nice grassy median divider there. It's wide, you've got great visibility, and the cars will be set off, coming off, a little bit off the road. And you're only gonna have to drop off, walk the child in and leave. And as Andrea said, the process should take about 5 minutes to drop the child off and leave. And it's gonna be staggered throughout the course of the day. It's a neighborhood business. Tanisha operates a business now in the village. And it just seemed like for her, that's why she picked this location, because it was accessible to the people in the neighborhoods, so she can keep some of her current customers, and then she has more space to handle more children. So that's how we got to this point. But the goal, initially, there was discussion about using, having access to be on Walden Road. But then they realized, especially after doing this and going to the meeting in January, that it had to be another alternative. So the alternative that was considered, which would be used, would be access through the back door, using Holman Boulevard as the queuing line for parents to drop the kids off and going that way. It makes more sense to do it that way. It'll be more efficient, faster, and safer. So, and I think there's also, I believe there's a daycare center not too far across the street. I think it was 160.
Yeah, up to Block Roof.
Right. And so, Tanisha's here, if you just want to come up.
Well, I got one question. What's the second egress? So that's gonna, the alleyway is the primary egress, right? Entrance?
The front on Walden Road is the main
Okay,
entrance.
so that's gonna also be maintained,
Right,
okay.
yes. There'll be 2 ways in and out. In fact, when I went to visit the building, I went into the back door, which is gonna be really the everyday entrance for the employees and the parents and the children. So Tanisha, just we consider it standing, it's not parking.
They have to leave, they're not putting the child by themselves, they're gonna go in themselves to go in there. So we define the parking regulations. Now, a suggestion, if that is what's gonna be working, perhaps traffic and safety can modify that parking regulation to something like 5 minutes, 10 minutes. But they can't just park the car, go in. I mean, a minute to 5 minutes, you're defining the parking regulation, just by definition of what you guys are proposing.
And we were under the impression that that determination to go parking there was at the request of the Florence store, because they were using that for loading and unloading of the material. So what we do, hopefully, the board just to grant the application, we'll work with the village traffic, and see if they can put it,
Maybe modify it, because
Right. Understood. Thank you. I just wanted to introduce Felicia.
I would like to hear from the landlord if he's here. So can we hear from him first, and then we'll get to you. Thank you.
Testing 1, 2, testing.
There you go.
Listen, talking to the microphone because it's online. Sorry.
So swear the landlord in. Sir, you can state your name and address for the record. She's gonna write it all.
Louis Eustache, 496, Louis Eustache, EUSTACHE, 496 Jerusalem Avenue, Uniondale, New York, 11553.
Raise your hand, sir. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth under the penalty of perjury?
Yes, I do.
Okay, you may proceed. Go ahead.
Sure. Good afternoon, good evening, sorry.
Good evening.
Chairman and members of the board. I am the owner of the property that is in question. I'm also the prior owner of Long Island Floor Supply. Both my wife and I have ran it for several years. We acquired the property some 12 years ago. So I'm obviously as a landlord, I'm familiar with it, but also as a business owner, I'm very familiar with the property and the layout of the property. So I'll be glad to answer any questions. Before I say that, I also like to let you know I'm also very familiar with Ms. Knotts. I've known her for a long time. I've helped her throughout her business. I've also had family members that attend her daycare. So if I didn't know her as a quality person, I certainly would not have even considered what she's trying to do. So I lend my support to her, wholeheartedly. So I know you guys had a couple of questions. We utilize, the flooring company utilized pretty much the entire building on Homewood Boulevard. We had on Baldwin Road, we had 3 tenants, which are still here with us currently. Well, 2 of them still here. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 3 tenants are still here with us. There's a taxi stand, there is a hair salon, and also, right now we have she does some massages on the property. So what happened is when we occupied the business, based on the square footage and what we were doing in terms of deliveries and things like that, the building just got to the point that it wasn't functional for us. In addition, there was a change in market. A lot of clients was ordering things online, profit margin decreased, so we found our need to just, discontinue services and sublease the property. So initially, when I met Ms. Knotts, we were talking about really just putting the daycare on the front end of Baldwin Road. She explained to me how many students she had, what she was looking to do, and then based on the attorney and additional discussions, then it was decided to sort of expand the footprints, and that's where we kind of, started one thing, it kind of became a larger thing. As far as the driveway, we parked our trucks, we used to park our trucks, the alleyway we were talking about is certainly large enough to accommodate, I think I definitely have 3 trucks parked in the alleyway, and it's about 12 feet wide. Additionally, she met with an interior design person, which was going to beautify the area. We could put some ornaments in there to allow a small play area for the kids and also egress and egress, in and out. The other thing I want to point out is actually more than 2 emergency exits, a third emergency exit that leads onto Baldwin Road. I'm not sure it's on the plan or not, but there is 3 emergency egress. That having said, I could, certainly answer any questions you guys have.
Well, great. Thank you very much. So my one big question for me is, would you be looking to rent the currently vacant spaces, which certainly would impact the parking and drop-off and again, so if you have new tenants coming in there, I don't think you want to keep empty space in your building.
We don't have any empty space. The only space that's not currently occupied would be her space. But, I mean, it's like, there's, we don't have any vacant space.
So the very corner right now, the corner of Homan and,
Yeah, it's occupied.
it is occupied.
It is occupied.
Can you identify those, you said it was, two, emergency exits?
Sort of top view, but for her space, so she has like a storefront on Baldwin Road. There's another alleyway between the two buildings,
Mm-hmm.
which also leads.
Something that's like a salon there or something there now?
There's two salons, yeah, there's a Lucy salon, so we share an alleyway. So there's sort of a door right here for her.
Oh, okay, got you.
That leads out to this alleyway, then she'll have an exit this way, then she'll have another exit over this way, so she has three means of egress.
And regarding fire safety and ingress, that'll be fire marshal question, we have to satisfy that as well, which we will.
So have you ever seen cars double park on Baldwin Road in front of the other stores along there? Because there's legal parking, there's 2 lanes going both directions, there's parking on both sides. Have you seen cars double park in front of those stores to run into the store and come back out?
So what I've seen, we have a taxi stand there, so we've spoken to the taxi owner there. He does have, clients that come to the store late, so I've seen where the taxi drivers pick up. I've seen delivery trucks to the bodega, which is not related to us, sort of, have deliveries and goes out to Baldwin Road. But I can tell you, being in the, we've owned the property for over 12 years, even the daycare across the street, the drop-off was on Baldwin Road. It's crazy how made that sound, so I think, some of what she's looking at doing home and Boulevard, decrease, the type of traffic that, everyone's concerned about.
Thank you. Anyone else?
The alleyway. You said it's about 12 foot wide?
Yeah, it's about, I mean, I didn't measure it, I would say about,
Well-
we had 14-foot truck long back into there when we occupied as a flooring company, so we're able to walk, back the trucks in.
This is just a suggestion because they're little kids. An ornament through the alleyway to the entry. So on rainy days, the children could get through the ornament.
Yeah, I've introduced her to our interior design person, and they've had that discussion about adding that.
They did.
Yes, I mentioned that earlier.
Okay.
Thank you.
That's all.
We could ask Jackie, I don't think so, because it's an existing storefront. They're modifying the use. We can ask Jackie. Jackie? Do we have that? Yeah, I have that.
Just stand by for a second.
It looks, so this looks like everyone was notified, right? If there are no other questions for the owner, thank you very much, and we can now speak to the business owner. Thank you.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. State your name and address, please.
My name is Penny Janat, 580 Union Avenue, UW,
Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth under the penalty of perjury?
I did.
Okay, the applicant is sworn in, you may proceed.
I just wanted you to talk about your
Hold that.
Hold that thought. Yeah.
You got the juice. I just wanted you to basically explain to the board what you've been doing, how you're licensing, and your vision for what you see going on at this location for your daycare. You go.
So I have my daycare for almost 3 years. I've worked in this field for over 10 years. I am looking to expand. And as far as the traffic, I will have staff outside, so the parents do not have to get out the car. I will have staff outside. I will also have a transportation service that will pick up majority of the kids, so that way the parents do not have to, bring the kids. And like I said, I'll have staff, and I will have somebody that has to direct traffic too as well.
Excellent.
So that's my plan.
So, to me, it's safety is always the number one. I'm sure it is for you as
Yes.
a daycare provider.
Yes, it is.
My concern when I first saw the plan, and it sounds like you are saying it's been altered somewhat from this document, to have any entrance and exit, well, exit is on Baldwin is okay, but to have that as an entrance, somebody's going to double park there. Someday, sometime, there's going to be an accident. I would never want to see anyone double parking on
Yes.
Baldwin.
So there will be no entry on Baldwin Road. It will
So-
be on Holman Boulevard.
Great. So staff members would be at the side.
Yes, as
Good
well.
morning, welcome, come on in, and would be escorting children into
Yes.
the center.
Mhm.
Okay, great.
Could you just explain to the board how you're gonna handle the transportation? Or some of the students you picked up? What's the plan that you have for that?
A transportation service, sorry. I already currently have a van, so I'll get a bigger passenger van to have the children picked up, so it cuts down on the traffic.
So I noticed, I did a little reading, I'm not an expert on child care law, but I know that depending on the age of the children, it affects the number of staff members that you have to have. So if you go under, like between age 1 and 2, it's a different requirement than if it's between age 2 and 3 and so forth.
Yes, it is.
So-
So the younger the child, it
You need more
requires more
staff.
staff, yes.
So somebody referenced from toddlers up to, from newborns up, but I'm assuming, what's the youngest age that you would have in the center?
The youngest I can have is 6 weeks.
6 weeks?
Yes, I can have 6 weeks.
And that's also the maximum need for staff at that age, right? From newborn up to 1 year, you need,
I would need 2 teachers for 4 kids,
right.
yes, for infants.
So, it's also been referenced to have up to a maximum of 50 children and
Yeah.
10 staff. So what happens if you get a far greater number of very young, under the age of 1? You're going to hit the limit where you will not be able to have 50 children
Yes, so I
within that facility.
I would not take that many infants. I would, to make sure that I'm able to get more than just infants, I won't take as many infants. So I
So-
would have like
In your other locations or your other operations, do you typically have a regular clientele where you know who's going to be there, or does it vary every single day?
At my current location, I know who's there.
And you would try to plan it the same way so that you have a regular count? You can project ahead at you know, the ages and the number of children that you're going to have in the facility?
Yes, so when I start like the enrollment, I will know pretty much how, the ages of the children.
Right, okay.
And who oversees your facility on state level or county level?
OCFS,
They actually come and inspect the sites?
yes, they do.
Great, okay. Anyone else?
Where will your staff park?
Inside the parking garage.
We believe you can fit 5 cars inside the parking garage, right?
Yes, that's correct.
And then there's also, Tanisha believes that some of the employees will be using mass transportation, and some will actually, especially in the neighborhood, be able to walk to
Yes.
the daycare center. So will we have five vehicle capability inside the parking garage?
So it would be all the things that we've discussed. If we were to grant this, I would certainly expect that you would have that conversation that our legal staff referred to regarding, do you have to make a change in the no parking area?
Traffic safety first, because what if they have an issue with it?
Well, could we approve it conditionally based on that if we chose to, or is your recommendation that they see traffic
They can
first?
condition, I mean, they can condition it, I guess we can draft a condition on the parking being allowed on the boulevard.
No,
Right.
the
By
parents
traffic
are not
safety
coming.
board, I guess we could do that type of a condition. If they can't meet it, then they'll come back before the board.
But if I just might, one of the things that Tanisha said is the
I will have staff outside.
The parent's not leaving the car,
Mhm.
so the car will not be left. Staff's coming out to get the child. So what I'd like the board's, is the mind to approve this, approve it subject to, if we have to go to traffic and have the signs somehow be done, but we're not parking, there'll be no parking there. No one's leaving, the parent, the driver of the vehicle, the parent, or whoever dropped the child off, will not be leaving the vehicle. Staff will come out, take the child into the daycare center.
Right, put a condition that way, we could do that.
Okay, thanks.
So how do we word that?
Ms. Knox,
Yes.
I have a question.
Okay.
Exactly where's the parking garage?
It's the red doors.
It's on the photo, one of the photos there shows it, if you look at it from the street,
Near the,
there's a street view on Holman, you'll see it.
right here. It's near the alleyway.
Yes.
So they don't drive down the alleyway into the
No, they
garage?
do not.
The garage,
No.
okay.
Yes, it is.
The entrance to the garage is off Holman,
Mhm.
Right.
so it's not down the alleyway. It's separate.
No, it's near, I'm saying it's near.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
absolutely.
So you're saying you're prepared that there'd be no parking if necessary, and that every single child would be escorted in and out? And
That is correct.
no parent would park, take the keys, walk inside and back?
Yes, that is
Okay.
correct.
All right.
I don't think is that I would still suggest a condition of
Yes,
that, 'cause I
yes.
think realistically, a parent's gonna wanna go
I know.
to something and
Yeah.
talk to the teachers.
Yep.
And the child is
Yes.
safe,
Park somewhere else.
the whole
Right,
thing, you know.
right.
Anybody else?
And Tanisha's indicated if the board imposes that condition about, she's willing, she said she's gonna do it, but the condition would be acceptable, that staff will take the children, come to the vehicle, take the children, absolutely.
Okay. Thank you very much. I'm sorry, go ahead. Okay, thank you very much. If there are now any members of the public who would like to speak in favor or against this application, please come forward.
On
pertaining to this case.
If it's pertaining to this case, please come forward. Please come forward.
My name is Phyllis Gordon, and I represent the King's Chapel of Hempstead on 201 Borden Road. I've
Raise your right hand, I'm gonna swear you in, and then you'll get 3 minutes.
Phyllis Gordon.
Swear or affirm, oh, did you get the address when she first did it? I'm sorry, go ahead.
I represent the King's Chapel of 201 Baldwin Road.
Raise your right hand, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the
I
truth
do.
under the penalty of perjury?
I do.
Okay, you have 3 minutes to speak, you can start
Yes,
now.
I just have a question. I listened carefully to the intentions of the, I'm going to call her the administrator, and regarding the parking, etc. I just have a question regarding if there are any contingency plans, if there are any unintended expansion of the school in terms of parking. How would that impact parking? You probably both know, but what contingency plans would there be if the school gets bigger and there are more traffic, there's more traffic?
I can give a little answer on
Please
this.
go ahead.
Mr. Zoll, if you need to comment after what I say, feel free to jump in. Ma'am, New York State Office of Children and Family Services regulate daycare centers, and they have quotas of how many children are allowed in a building at one point in time. If she's not allowed, based on the square footage, she's only allowed to enroll a certain number of children based on staffing. So that would be, if she enrolled too many and the state found out about it, she would get cited for violations.
Okay.
Is that good enough, Mr. Zoll,
Yes.
do you want to comment on it
That's-
further?
That's what I was going to say. I took 2 parts of that. One is what you said, yes, the state rules and regulations have to comply with, so staffing and the amount of students, children can take depends on the staffing. But yeah, I thought you were also talking about the possible expanding further into the building, but there's no.
Am I wrong?
I was really addressing the issue of traffic.
Okay, so you're correct, and we have to comply with the law. And we intend to, and also just, she's gonna occupy about 2,100 square feet, and she has no intention of expanding any more at that location. I thought that was part of it too, that she wants to get any bigger, to have more children coming, but they don't intend to do that.
And also, the information in the traffic study that we received shows that there actually will be less traffic than when you had the active commercial store that was operating at that time. So my concern is not just number of cars per hour, but the specific drop-off and pickup type of thing. Thank you. Did you want to mention your potential?
I believe that the main entrance, as I'm understanding everything, would be on Holman Boulevard. I would suggest that if this is passed, that the Baldwin Road exit only be used as an emergency exit.
That is the plan. Thank you. Does anyone have any questions either for me, the architect, traffic expert, or the issue of the landlord?
I'm satisfied on it.
Can I have a motion, please?
Honorable Chair, I'd like to make a motion to approve case 2112 with conditions.
Second?
A second.
And may I specify the conditions before we go ahead? Okay, so as mentioned, one specific condition will be making Baldwin emergency exit only. Somebody comes to the door, knocking on the door, go around, or a staff member come out to get the child and bring it back in. Awning or protected area in the back entrance, in the alleyway. the owner of the building has to make that safe, level, secure, good lighting. Should really be a first-rate entrance. Obviously, it's a side entrance, but it should look like a nice, clean, professional entrance there. And thirdly, you must confirm with the traffic department if you need to make any additional adjustments based on the approval or if we do approve. So, okay? That make sense? All right.
Right.
Well,
Mr. Brathwaite?
we didn't vote yet.
Wait, wait, finish
We
the
didn't
vote
vote.
now.
Mr. Brathwaite?
No.
Mr. Gresham?
Yes.
Mr. Mathematics?
Yes.
Ms. Lucas?
Yes.
Chairman Oppenheimer?
Yes.
Thank you.
Good luck. Thank you.
Okay, so now we're going to move forward to new case 2118, application of Aidan Ferrafino / Iglesia Apostles y Profetas for a variance under section 139-6 compliance required, section 139-8 extension or alteration of use, section 139-106 permitted uses, business B, of the zoning code of the Village of Hempstead for permission to construct a three-family dwelling with retail/office space, interior alterations, rear extension at first floor and second floor addition at 66 Grove Street, Hempstead, New York, 11550. Said property is located in a Business B zone on a Section 34, Block 360, Lot 347, on the land and tax map of the County of Nassau and Incorporated Village of Hempstead.
Good evening. My name is Randall Santana, 331 Willis Avenue, Mineola, New York, 11501. I'm an architect.
Okay, raise your right hand, sir. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth under the penalty of perjury?
I do.
Thank you. The witness is sworn in, you may proceed.
Thank you. Good evening.
Good evening.
We are here to seek in a single-family home that we try to convert in a 3 apartment with one commercial on the first floor. This house is a fire. So the pastor buy this house because his church is on the right side of the house, and he just only portioned this one in order to try to get in a little bit of income for the church. So basically, the idea is because if you see the side plan that we're attaching in the back, we try to have in the same footprint of the house and try to make a little bit extension in the back to having a little bit more room and converting. And the first floor will be converted on 1 apartment, and then on the right side will be commercial, and then the second floor will be 2 apartments. In terms of parking, we try to make the parking in the back, which is facing for the next parking that they have in front for the church that they have over there. So that is gonna be like a distribution, and that situation, the parking, we have 2 parking per apartment, and then that give it to us 6 parking for the commercial area. So the apartment is 800 square footage. Each apartment 790 actually. They have a 2-bedroom apartment with a little bit kitchenette, and social area with 1 bathroom for everybody. So I think in terms of in the front, we try to put in a handicap ramp also in order to comply for the DT, that they can have a handicapable, accessible to the apartment. I think so this is my case.
So, thank you for that. The question on what would the proposed use of retail or office space, can you be specific as to what the commercial aspect of it would be?
Basically will be for office,
For the church? For the church's use or renting?
for renting. It could be lawyer, it could be something architectural, some office, administration office, basically. That's
So
what they do.
professional office,
Professional office,
but
yeah.
not a resale, a
No,
selling
not at all.
product, selling,
No, not at all.
okay. Ashley, could
The-
Say that they're waiting for some.
Yeah. Nassau County Planning Commission, zone of referral.
So just to let you know, I understand you're still waiting for a response from the Nassau County Planning Commission. So we would not be able to vote one way or the other tonight, but we'll continue to discuss and get it on the calendar for as soon as we can.
Okay.
But you need to hear from them first before we would vote one way or the other on that.
Okay. Fair enough.
Questions from the board?
No.
Just to let you know something, in the basement, that we have a basement, we're gonna use it just only for storage. For the mechanicals, we don't plan to use them for anything else than their storage.
Yeah, so you're aware that basement space cannot be used for residential space at all, so, okay.
Not at all.
So how much of the existing building will still exist?
The existing building is damaged, it's fire already. So you talk about around like a 1,500 square footing?
So you're not building new construction, you're doing an addition, correct?
And then we have to repair the fire.
No, I'm asking a question. Are you refurbing the whole building, or you taking anything down?
No.
Is there any demolition
no,
at all?
No, we don't
No
take it down.
demolition?
We don't demo the building. We extend it in the back, and then we redo the affecting, that we have it on the building.
It was a fire damage, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
So what happens if you are unable to rent the retail space? Does that become living space?
No, we don't plan it for that. So because owner, that's what I cannot say that the pastor want to have his own office there, but that's why he want to keep in the space in order to rent it. But they don't plan to put in another residential. They want to keep in this one as a professional office.
'Cause I would think, I mean, it's premature now, but I would think that would be a condition of approval to have that stated in there. So it could not suddenly become a four-family dwelling.
That's fine.
Mhm.
Because it says it's a retail office space.
Yeah. And again, the pastor has his own office right now. Sometimes he was the guy to told me, so if I have this space, probably gonna use it for myself and use it for the little staff for the office that they have.
Could be an architectural office, so.
Yeah.
That might hit home. Huh?
I try to do my best.
Ashley, should we get public comment now, or just, censor? Yeah, okay. All right, any other questions from the board? So at this time, if there's anyone who would like to speak in favor or opposed to this application? Being none, Ashley, if you want to.
Can I get a motion, please?
Honorable Chair, I'd like to I'd like to make a motion to adjourn this case, is it 2118? And what would be the next available
Do we have June 6th?
Yeah, we can do June 6th.
for June 6th?
June 6th.
Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Brathwaite?
Yes.
Mr. Gresham?
Yes.
Mr. Mathematics?
Yes.
Ms. Lucas?
Yes.
Chairman Oppenheimer?
Yes. Thank you. So
Thank you so much.
if you have not heard from Nassau County Planning Board in time, please let Ashley know, and we can put it, on the proper point in the schedule. So, thank you.
Okay, I'll go in.
You too.
Chairman, can I have just the limit of your time of case 2097?
We still have agenda that we're still going through, sir.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Can we go back to see if 2108 came in?
So we're going to recall case number 2108 for application of Pablo Venegas and Erica Venegas.
No? So what do you want to do, adjourn it till next?
Yeah, we can adjourn it to...
July?
Yeah, July. Can I get a motion, please, to adjourn?
Case number 2108, I make a motion that we adjourn until July
11.
11th, 2024.
Second?
I second.
Mr. Brathwaite?
Yes.
Mr. Gresham?
Yes.
Mr. Mathematics?
Yes.
Ms. Lucas?
Yes.
Chairman Oppenheimer?
Yes.
Okay, so now we have our environmental impact, case number 2122, application of Hempstead Management Co., Inc., for permission to subdivide lot and construct two-story, one-family homes at 31 Cornwall Lane, Hempstead, New York, 11550.
This matter is a type 2 matter under SECR requiring no further action for SECR.
Mr. Chairman, in case number 2122, I make a motion that we place on the calendar for June 6, 2024.
Second?
I second.
Mr. Brathwaite?
Yes.
Mr. Gresham?
Yes.
Mr. Mathematics?
Yes.
Ms. Lucas?
Yes.
Chairman Oppenheimer?
Yes. Are we going to close or what? Hmm? Okay, if you'd like to speak again, please come up.
Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna take your
It's all
time.
right, go
You guys have better things to do.
I just want to state for the record what case we're talking about.
2097.
And, 2097.
2097.
2097.
Yes. So upon this gentleman's investigation of the property, he spoke to this young lady right here, and I went and spoke to her. She's misunderstood you. She didn't know you were talking about she thought you were talking about the back house and not the front house and not the back house. She misunderstood you. She thought it was gonna be like right away, and she didn't know. So I spoke to my partner. Yes, they are gatekeepers there for us to keep out, the unwanted squatters inside of the place. And they have no problem relocating, to one of our other properties if we have to. We'll just give them basically a notice. We're gonna knock the property down in 2-3 months or even a year, and they have no problem relocating. So they're very, very nice people. I went and picked her up. I asked that someone come by. She says yes, but she didn't understand what the gentleman was saying. She thought he was just referring to the front house and not the back house. And if we're gonna knock down the front, we're gonna knock down the back also. So maybe they didn't understand. It's just a little language barrier. But I brought her by, and this is the one you spoke to, right, sir?
Yes, sir.
I think she's like the only one that even speaks English, actually.
She speaks English pretty well, I believe.
But she really didn't understand the question, though. That's what it was.
One of the questions I asked her, how long she lived there. How long you lived in that property?
You gotta-
Yeah,
Yeah.
you'll have to come up, yes.
Hi, please state your name and address for the record.
Katie
Katie, what's your last name?
Ventura,
What's your address?
17 South Franklin. 178 South Franklin.
Raise your right hand. You swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth under the penalty of perjury?
Yes,
Okay, go ahead, Katie, sworn in.
So how long did you live in the property?
2 years.
And are you a tenant or are you just a squatter or what? What are you doing? I'm just asking her a question. Are you a tenant?
Yes,
You have a lease?
yeah.
Okay.
No, they had a lease a long time ago. They have a month-to-month lease. They had a year ago, 2 years ago, they had a lease that expired. Now it's just basically a month-to-month.
So she's paying rent?
Right, month-to-month. A very minuscule amount of rent, a very small amount of rent, just squatted out.
My concern is when you mentioned it, you weren't aware that somebody was there.
You know what it is? I called my partner, Eureka, and found out what was going on. I'm actually in Yonkers, I'm in New Jersey, I'm in Brooklyn, I'm in Manhattan, I'm in Queens, I'm all over the place, basically. So
She said she's been there for 2 years.
2 years, yeah.
So you haven't known in 2 years.
No, I'm in and out of property. I'm sorry.
But it's fine, we can relocate it. We can relocate. It's fine.
And how many people are living there?
Like 4 people.
How many?
4 people.
4?
Mhm.
How many children?
Just one.
And how old is the child?
He's 14.
He's 14.
Yeah.
And this is one family unit, so if you moved, all 4 would move together?
Yeah, we'll move together. That's fine.
So the apartment that you would place them in has adequate bedrooms for a family?
Actually, more bedrooms going on, because that cottage is actually one bedroom house. I have two bedrooms right across the street where they're at, which is 12 Eagles. They're available in Oakland right now.
So Jackie, since we already voted. I think we would still need something in writing to verify everything that you're saying today, and you are on the calendar for decision on June 6th as of the vote we took tonight, so.
So what's time next?
Hang on one second. Do you guys want to reopen it to?
By the way, but I think a copy of the formal lease should be presented. If we do reopen it and we vote, it has to be on conditions that they receive. But he submits the formal lease.
We don't have to reopen it, so we can just say, bring the proof with you on June 6th.
Not formal lease, because she's on another lease now. She's just moving.
So keep it for June 6th. I don't think we're gonna So, thank you for that. I don't think we're going to take a vote to reopen at this time, but bring any additional documentation of the prior lease for your next meeting, and we will conclude from there. So,
Excuse me, I'm sorry, the prior lease?
the prior lease that this young lady had, you said that she did have a lease,
Yeah.
okay? So if it's not currently, if it's an expired lease, bring a copy of the prior lease that you had dated at the time of the lease.
Anything else that you guys need June 6th, because I keep coming back here whenever, someone finds a way. Upon his investigation that he did today, can I ask you, do you guys investigate every property? You go to every property and you investigate? Is that what you do?
I go to every property.
That's what you're expected to
Yep.
do. all in-
I go to every property, and I also ask their surrounding neighbors that they have any knowledge of what's going on. Yes, I do.
So you're satisfied with that then? So all you need now is just the lease next time I come back here?
I think we'll be prepared to vote. What we've said is we're on the calendar for June 6th, and we'll be prepared to take a vote at that time. Because as you have said, you've been before this board numerous times, and I think we do have enough information to take a vote.
Yeah, okay, so I'll bring back the lease next time, because it's like, whenever I come back, it's something else.
If you want to
It's the
bring
little
your
things.
partner with you, if you'd like to
What
come
do
back.
What do you want? So I don't want to come back here next, 2 months, and you say, oh, you should have brought your partner, what do you guys want?
I think it would be helpful to your case to bring your partner, so, because he had information you did not have tonight. So
But
it
what,
took,
what does it matter if we just give notice to someone who's actually staying there saying, hey, we're gonna knock the building, and that's just what it is. We're giving you notice, we're gonna relocate you, what's the problem with
well,
that?
you just asked me, would it be helpful to bring your partner? And I said, yes, it would be. He had information you did not have prior to a few minutes ago. So that's what I'm suggesting for the June 6th meeting.
That I bring him with me?
Yep.
May I just?
Please go ahead.
Mr. Du Bois, is it Du Bois?
Voight, sir, yes.
Okay.
But you-
Let
you
me
guys-
let's just, I wanna say this, with all due respect. When the community comes to this court and they're asking for a variance of some sort, that means we're looked at to change something in behalf of what you're submitting to this court, right? We have to make sure, a couple of things, we have to keep in mind that it's good for the community, right?
Okay.
That it's something that's gonna benefit the community, and it's not necessarily the person who presents it. Yes, it may benefit you, and that's good, but if it's gonna be a win-win situation, it needs to benefit the community. It has to stay within the boundaries of what we're trying to do in this community. So when you come, you're actually appealing to ask us to make a change from the norm.
I totally understand that, but
So I'm saying, come with that mindset that, listen, the reason why we're asking these questions, the reason why we do the inspections or checking out things is to make sure that the community is being spoken for. Not to hurt anybody,
Sir,
but to maintain the integrity of this community.
I totally understand, but I gotta tell you, I've been there a few times, and I've never heard, I get the runaround so much, go get this, go get that, go get this, go get that. I mean, I'm running to Alaska to grab a daffodil, whenever I come here, there's something else I gotta bring, it's crazy. So I just wanna make sure that if I'm coming back in next time, what am I actually bringing? What do you guys need? I've actually changed the plans 3 times. I changed them 3 times.
Again, you're not the only one.
You're not the only one. Many people.
We're charged with this.
You want to actually know if the family was gonna go and relocate. I brought the source that you was actually talking to, and they have no problem at all. Now it's something else, basically.
And I will say to you, this is helpful, what you did tonight is helpful, but it's a partial step you could have done previously. You were not even aware of who she was, apparently, prior to this.
Yes.
So, it's a 2-part. There's the application and it's the board. So everybody has to play their part in this. So many applicants come before us numerous occasions before something is either approved or denied. If something is denied and you think it's a good project, it's your right to appeal that. If something is approved after a long process, most people are happy, that now it is approved and we solve all the considerations on it. So be a little patient with it, and believe me, you are not the only one to go through a lengthy process on this.
Okay, so right now, me and my partner, we're actually doing properties in Texas, also in Atlanta, and also in Miami. So what if he can't make it here?
We can have them on Zoom.
Okay.
Yeah,
But
that would be
I could've
acceptable.
did this a little while ago if that was the case.
That would be acceptable
We could do that now.
for next time. If he cannot be here in person, that would be acceptable, right?
Yeah.
Jackie?
Yeah,
So-
you let us know in advance and we can have IT set up.
So what else what do you?
Sir, I'm giving you the information.
Okay.
Please let us speak and I'm gonna give you the information. If your business partner cannot physically come, you know that in advance. Reach out to the administrator and she can make arrangements with our computer department to have a Zoom conference where we can Zoom in and participate virtually.
Right. And you need a copy of an old lease. You need, so will that satisfy you? A copy of the old lease?
Of that, for that tenant,
Yes.
yes.
That satisfies.
Yes.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you. Can I, I'm sorry.
Motion to close?
I make a motion to close.
Second?
A second.
Mr. Brathwaite?
Yes.
Mr. Gresham?
Yes.
Mr. Mathematics?
Yes.
Ms. Lucas?
Yes.
Chairman Oppenheimer?
Yes. Thank you very much.
One thing I'm not gonna stand for anybody trying to bully